The Sturmgewehr, or Assault Rifle 44, was a German assault rifle developed during World War II by Hugo Schmeisser. The Sturmgewehr 44 was the first successful assault rifle in military history, with features including controllable automatic fire, a compact design, and a higher rate of fire, and being designed primarily for hitting targets within a few hundred meters. The new weapon fulfilled its role effectively, particularly on the Eastern Front, offering a greatly increased volume of fire compared to the earlier standard German infantry rifles. One unusual addition to the design was the Krummlauf, literally a curved barrel attachment for rifles with a periscope sighting device for shooting around corners from a safe position. It was produced in two variants, an I version for infantry use and a P version for use in tanks to cover the dead areas in the close range around the tank and to defend against assaulting infantry. Versions with 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees and 90 degrees bands existed, but they were not produced in any numbers. The curved barrel attachments had a very short lifespan, approximately 300 rounds. The idea of defeating the enemy with small arms fire weapons when the shooter remains safe without putting himself at any risk is absolutely not new. The first serious developments in this direction were undertaken by military engineers already in the 19th century. Until the beginning of the 20th century, such ideas did not receive a serious technical embodiment. But everything changed during the First World War, when the armies of the opposing states were bogged down in a trench warfare. The first models of weapons that allowed firing from the trench while remaining in complete security were created during this period, and they were called periscope rifles. Initially, various systems of remote aiming and fire control were the main way to implement the concept of safe shooting. Most often, small arms were equipped with a telescopic sight and attached to the parapet of the trench. The startup was carried out remotely from the simplest wire cables to more complex electrical systems. Another way was to create specialized weapon models that allowed firing from around the corner, where the curved barrel was part of the design. In this case, both ways had their obvious disadvantages. An example of a more rational approach to the problem was the design presented by gunsmiths of Germany during World War II. At the end of 1943, the German company Rheinmetall received an order from the military for the development of specialist devices, curved barrel designs for installation on all types of standard small arms. These devices were supposed to significantly reduce the dead zones when firing from tanks and shelters from a distance of 200 meters to 20 meters. The first prototype of the special nozzle, designated the Krummlauf, was dressed on regular German carbines. Curved by 15 degrees, the experimental barrel had a smooth inner channel with a diameter of 10 millimeters, and the external diameter was 36 millimeters. However, the results of the test firing were found to be unsatisfactory. When they began to test the barrels on carbines bent at 30 degrees with a radius of 250 millimeters, the first success of the development was designated. As a result, the choice was made in favor of special bent shafts of caliber 7.92 mm with an external diameter of about 16 mm and wall thickness of 4 mm. At the same time, the internal ballistics was so carefully calculated that at firing ranges up to 500 meters, it was similar to the ballistics of bullet movement in a conventional barrel, with the exception of increasing dispersion and decreasing the initial velocity of the bullet. At the same time, despite the instability of the weapon when maintaining automatic fire, it was possible to obtain satisfactory results on accuracy. Tests have shown that the German 7.92 mm rifle cartridge is too powerful for any type of curved barrel. After that, German designers came up with a new idea. Would it not be better to work with a curved barrel with an intermediate cartridge which had a shorter bullet and significantly less muzzle energy? Tests have demonstrated that the short cartridge fits perfectly for a curved weapon and makes the rifle the only model that allows you to put into practice the idea of firing from cover. According to their plan, the use of such a nozzle with a gun should have significantly increased its capabilities, allowing the shooter to conduct dense barrage from a shelter instead of a single rifle. In general, the Krummlauf weapon system, which allows firing from cover, consisted of a Sturmgewehr 44 assault rifle itself, a curved nozzle barrel with quick release attachment, and a special sighting device, a periscopic sight. Special opening on a curved barrel through which powder gases escaped led to a decrease in the initial velocity of the bullet. The speed dropped significantly, almost twice, to about 300 meters per sec. Obviously, along with this, the effective firing range also decreased. But since the gun was planned to be used at short distances, even a reduced initial speed of the bullet was enough. During the shooting with the curved barrel nozzle, shooting accuracy was found to be satisfactory. The tests were convincing evidence of the possibility of a totally new weapon system. In August of 1944, the German Armaments Directorate issued an order to the Third Reich Armaments Ministry providing for a short time to issue 10,000 of similar devices for firing from cover. But the defeat of Germany prevented their fine-tuning and improvement of the characteristics. The German industry released a very limited series until the end of the war. Approximately 150 infantry versions and about 500 tank versions were produced, but none of them were operational. But it is very interesting to note that the concept survived the war. The corner shot is a weapon accessory created by the Israeli Defense Forces in cooperation with some American investors. It was designed in the early years of 2000 for use by SWAT teams and special forces in hostile situations, usually involving terrorists and hostages. Its purpose is similar to that of the periscope rifle. It allows its operator to both see and attack an armed target without exposing the operator to counterattack. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and to make sure you don't miss my future work, please make sure you are subscribed to my channel and press the bell notification button. Thank you, and see you in the next video.